Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Somewhere between science and superstition.
We have such sights to show you.
Strange Aeons. Welcome to Strange Aeons Radio. That's Eric Morgan over there.
Hello.
That's Vanessa Williams over there.
Hello.
That makes me Kelly Young. And happy Halloween, guys. We're recording this on Halloween.
Whoa,
That's how much we love you guys.
What
we're
a great day to cover ninjas.
We were like, fuck this. I don't want to do anything fun today. Let's do an episode of our show.
Basically, yes. This is the amount of a life we all have. We're like, hey, do you want to spend like 3 to 4 hours of Halloween just on a podcast?
You know what? I can think of no two people I would rather spend my Halloween with.
Oh,
There
you
you go.
guys.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Not you,
same.
Eric. I wasn't talking to you.
Oh, there's a third person here? Oh, shit.
I'm two
Or
guys.
a fourth person here.
Wait a minute.
Jumping out from the back.
Right.
Hey, we're
Supplies.
here too.
I feel like I need to talk about something we talked about last week because
Okay.
I've had enough people reach out to me and say, what's going on with your neighbor?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, it was just great because, of course, when we posted, one of you lovely gentlemen was like, oh, hey, and we talk about Kelly's neighbor. And I had to remind you, we weren't actually live. We talked about your neighbor.
You didn't have to remind me. I knew that, but we
Oh.
screamed about it so much.
Yeah, I guess that's
By
true.
we, I mean the royal we.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. And now, I've had a little bit of sleep. I feel much better. My lovely neighbor upstairs, let's just say she doesn't keep the same hours as I do.
Mhm.
And a great time to cook is about 1 a.m.
Oh, jeez.
I am generally sound asleep. And then she'll drop a pan or slam a cupboard door or something right above my head. And it terrifies me awake.
Oh, God.
And once you've been shocked awake like that, it's very difficult to get back to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So this is her pattern. Every night around 12:30 or 1, I'm
Wow.
awakened by something dropping or something slamming. I don't know. If I had to guess, it feels like she's standing directly above my head with a round wooden ball
Oh my God.
about the size of a softball, solid, like a croquet ball maybe. And she's just holding it there and she's kind of trying to picture where is his head. It's got to be right here. And then she drops it and it just goes bonk. And that's how I am awakened. So
Fun time.
you can imagine that I was a little frazzled.
And you wake up really early, right?
I do. I get up at about 5:20. I go to bed usually about 10:30. So about 1 a.m. I am deep into sleep.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of messes up your whole week because, you're not getting proper REM. You're getting terrified awake. I don't know how long it takes you to go back to sleep,
That's
but
just it. Sometimes it doesn't happen.
Ever, yeah.
can you write like a passive aggressive note? Oh my God. Wow.
Man, I hope that shows up on the audio. That's hilarious. Holy shit. There's a nice caveat to this whole thing for you too, because this is the first time you've ever had an upstairs neighbor.
I know.
Oh, no.
It's very, very strange for me.
It is a weird experience.
Yes, it sucks. I'm glad right now with our 2 new cats, and you might feel this way too, Vanessa, that I don't have a downstairs neighbors
Mm.
because they're 2-3 pound little demons that
Yeah.
run like they're 80-pound tigers.
Sure.
Yup.
When they're upstairs above us, like
Yep. Mine run up and down the stairs frighteningly quickly. I do have downstairs neighbors and I do worry, but they mostly just give me strange looks occasionally. So I'm like, you didn't say anything to me, so it's fine. Obviously, you're definitely not hearing anything happening here.
yeah, and not at 1 o'clock in the morning.
That's
the
the only
bonus.
problem. I understand people do things during the waking hours. I have no problem with that.
Right.
And I feel bad because she is an enormous woman.
Right.
And I feel bad that that's what I attacked on the show was her weight instead of what was actually going on. But I am only human.
Yeah, I mean,
A non-sleeping human at that point.
it's hard. It's hard because it feels like there's a lot of things that kind of add up to a certain kind of behavior, and sometimes extreme obesity can be part of a number of problems, including, sometimes that comes with manipulation, and sometimes it comes with just, I need to make a snack at 1 in the
1 in the
morning.
morning. Huh?
That could be.
I'm telling you, a note that's like,
I'm the new guy here. I'm going to move in and start telling
Pretend
people
you're
how
like
to live their lives.
the undead. Just be like, I'm a ghost and you've disturbed me, and I will come and haunt you on the 3rd Tuesday of every month. I will visit you in your dreams unless you please maintain polite hours.
Now I'm saying all
my.
this. She's probably got her own podcast, and she's sitting there going, Jesus Christ, the guy down below me has 2 people show up every Sunday and they talk for hours and hours, and it's so fucking annoying. So,
Yeah.
Another thing I would like to talk about, I'll make this my first choice then.
Sure.
Something we talked about last week, but Eric, I watched Dune.
Mm.
And the thing that I loved, I listened to last week's episode, just a couple days ago.
Uh-huh.
And the tone of your voice when I said I didn't like the casting of Jason Momoa as Duncan Idaho was such a smug little nerd prick tone that when it happened at the time, I kind of had my feelings hurt, and I was like, holy shit. He was like, you really don't know anything about Dune, do you?
Oh, no.
And I was like, oh. But then when I listened to it again, I was like, oh my God, I am so happy. I am so happy that Eric was such a prick to me on the air. And do you want to know why, Eric? It's because you have always been the best of us. You're the nicest person in the room.
It's true.
In any room.
It's true.
Nobody ever has a bad word to say about you. I am so happy that on the air,
For a
we've gotten to
moment.
hear.
For glimmering, shimmering moments.
It just proves that you are human
Oh, that's there.
and
Yeah.
and a bit of an asshole. Do you guys hear that?
Yes. What is happening?
I'm wondering if they're here. I hope this shows up.
It's like crazy.
Yeah, that just might
Is that
register.
hammering?
I don't know what that is. That's upstairs.
Is it beating?
I've never heard that before.
Wow. I mean, it
so-
could be like baking. You could be like beating something with a
Sure.
rolling pin.
Sure, perhaps she's just stomping on the floor to tell me to shut up.
That could be it too.
Anyway, I watched the
Wow.
movie, and I will say this: I want to be a pretentious asshole like you sometimes, Eric, and like movies that are boring as fuck,
Oh my God.
but I just can't. I'm too real. And so I got to say, that movie was a fucking snooze fest.
Oh no.
It was bland, colorless, boring. There were some gorgeous moments, and I love the dragonfly ships,
Yeah.
Those are cool.
Those are cool.
but I hated every single actor in this, which was a problem because I love Oscar Isaac, and I thought he was poorly cast even. And I think
Oh,
he's an amazing
man.
actor. 2 thumbs down your pretentious prick throat.
Ouch. Well, I saw Dune as well.
Oh, what do you think of it?
Oh, I really liked it.
That does not surprise me.
Yeah. I mean, also, it's by a director that I adore.
Me too. That made me angrier.
Yeah. It's science fiction, which I'm fucking obsessed with. It's really textured. It's a big, interesting world. And I also had read the book. So for me, I was like, oh, that part of the book that I found boring as fuck, this is now really interesting because, we get to see the actual dragonfly ships, which before I was trying to imagine in my head and I was like, that sounds stupid. And then I saw them and was like, oh my God, they're fucking wicked. So
Who is Timothy Chalamet? Is this an actor I should know? What
the
is
the
scrawny
name?
white kid.
yeah.
Yeah. The Kyle
Paul.
MacLachlan. Yeah.
I know the name sounds oddly familiar. Like I
Right.
feel like
He's
I
been
should.
in a bunch
but
of stuff. I mean, I know he did some like big, like royal Netflix movie, and started showing up and stuff. But he's been breaking some waves. If IMDb was working, I would tell you who he is.
I just
Oh.
felt like, I mean, it's really indicative of our culture now. I was like, God, this scrawny, unattractive man is now the lead of this space opera. I
he
wanted
shouldn't be a
somebody-
superhero. That would not fit the character.
I wanted him to be
That
at
would
least
not be
handsome.
Paul
Oh God,
at
I love the
all.
tone in
That's
your
right.
voice right now. God,
I don't
Eric,
mind
please.
that you hate it,
More,
but
more,
you're
Eric.
not. The thing is, you're
Love
hating
it.
it because you don't
Eric.
know it. It'd be like
Strange Eons Radio has
Oh my
finally
God.
humanized
So,
you, and
yeah.
I feel good about it.
So I heard an interview with the director on another podcast that I like to listen to. And
What? Are you cheating on us?
all the time.
they were long before us, guys. I'm
Wait, you're
sorry.
cheating on them with us?
Yes, 100%. The Mark Kermode podcast, which I've been listening to since I lived in the UK, but he interviewed the director, and he actually asked about that casting and what I always mispronounce his name, but what the director said is
Denis Villeneuve.
Denis
There
Villeneuve.
you
By the
go.
way, that man has the best fucking voice on planet Earth.
And a cool name.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Anyway, he said, you know, the character's meant to start this entire saga at the age of 15. He's supposed to be like kind of a weakling boy.
Mhm.
And so being able to cast somebody who could act and look very young and potentially be aged up was a big part of casting.
Kyle
for him.
MacLachlan was the wrong casting.
Oh, that's unfortunate because I really loved him.
I know.
He was my
He
favorite
was
part of the first
great.
Dune. He was the best
Yeah.
part of the first Dune.
Yeah.
Without a
For
doubt.
sure. Yeah. So
Uh,
that was kind of from my understanding, that was the intention behind that casting.
Yeah.
Charlemagne's been in a few things that, Lady Bird, Interstellar. He's got like 13 or 20. He's got 30 some odd credits.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. I didn't like him, but
Because you didn't like anything about the film.
I did like some of the things. I thought there were some cool scenes and some cool effects and stuff like that. I don't know. It just,
What did you think of the score?
I don't know that I noticed it.
Oh, really?
Well, I watched it here in my home.
Oh,
so-
okay. I did see it in IMAX. So
Okay.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty impressive.
it was like teeth shattering. Like the score is
Mhm.
so fucking impressive. It was probably 50% of the film was just that
Yeah.
enormous sound.
And he talked a lot in an interview I saw with the director too. He talked a lot about that, where he used sound at moments to increase or emphasize, like the Gom Jabbar and some other scenes where weird noises were added
Yeah.
through the soundtrack that became part of the scene.
It reminded me a lot of like 2001 in the way the audio is like kind of projecting certain moments.
Okay.
Not that, I mean, if you didn't like it, you didn't like it. I don't think you're going to like it more in the IMAX, but I do think that was helpful
An
for the
expensive
viewing
nap.
experience. Yes.
I will say this. God, I love Jason Momoa so much as a person.
Yeah.
I think he is a really bad actor. And
Yes, he's
I'm
one
so
though.
happy that he's getting big movies, but I wish they were not movies that I felt compelled to see because I think he's really bad in every movie. He just has
Except
such
Aquaman.
No, he was horrible in Aquaman.
He's
Aquaman
so
was a shit
watchable.
movie, but he's got such a stunning smile that you
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
fall in love with him.
The only thing I've really liked him in as an actor is Game of Thrones.
I thought he was awful in that.
And I
But
think
luckily
it's
he-
because he had a different language.
Yeah, luckily he didn't have much to do. I kind of liked him in Conan, and I would have liked to have seen
Yeah.
more
Hmm.
Conan with him in it because I felt like he kind of got the fact that Conan was dumb and happy, you know?
That fits.
Happy
Sounds
fighting
about right.
people and shit like that. And so when he smiles and slams somebody with a sword, I was like, this feels kind of like Conan.
That's right.
Ah.
I don't know. What about you guys? What you see and hate?
Yeah. Well, I could jump in. So we were so fortunate that somebody donated a kind amount to our show. Thank you so much.
And then stabbed you for it.
and then stabbed specifically me right in the heart for the generosity. So I was told / requested / told to check out the film Dead Silence
Mhm.
because of our discussion on Malignant. And my kind of constant thing that I keep running back to, which is it has to be on purpose. Like a lot of these strange like shot sizes and moments and bad acting and like it has to be on purpose because this guy's James Wan has made a lot of movies. So I was, tasked with watching Dead Silence, which
A modern day classic.
Well, basically, I mean,
yeah.
he tasked you that saying, how could you possibly think this guy's a good director?
Yes,
I think was-
that is. And you know what? Okay. I think that was a problematic suggestion for me because this was the second feature film this director made.
Yeah. This was the one he did after
Saw.
Saw. Yeah. That's what I thought.
So it's really hard to be like, okay, well, this guy's made a shit ton of films, but the second one he made should really tell you why he's bad now.
Yes.
So to me, that was rough. And it's actually competently made. It's a stupid movie.
Yeah.
It is absolutely stupid. The subject
bad.
matter is fucking
He made it
dumb.
14 years ago.
Yeah.
So it was made in 2007. So I think
And-
he's grown
Yeah.
as
And
a director.
it's a concept, but even so, like, even with the stupidness of it, and one of the Wahlberg kid, I think it's Donnie Wahlberg in it as a stupid police detective. And that was the closest part to Malignant that I saw. But even with that, the sets are fucking incredible. The acting is actually good. It's a stupid film about a stupid thing. But like, and the other thing that does not hold up is the CGI, which is fucking awful.
bad.
So bad. But like all this, like, it's kind of Peter Pan in Wonderland. I don't know. There's like a real like ethereal, fantastical sense to it when he gets on the little boat and rows his way over to like the strange
That was so weird.
theme park. And then like when the lights come on and there's like a zillion dummies and glass cases and they all turn their head at the same time. I was like, this is really impressive. Like if that was my second feature film, I'd be like, yeah, suck it. Like I done good. And none of it to me was like Malignant. None of it was a Lifetime original movie. None of it was shot like badly.
It looked like early Blumhouse. I mean, it looked
It
like
did.
a lot of the stuff that was coming out about that time.
Yeah.
So this is the one about the haunted dummy.
Yes.
Yeah.
The haunted dummy, kind of. I think so. The dummy is doing it, but it's the person.
Sort of,
Sorta.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
What
Yeah.
I remember most about this movie was just how fucking boring it was.
You think
Yeah.
everything is so boring.
Yeah, but am I wrong on this one?
No, I
Not
was.
entirely.
not-
It
yeah.
was
It's
yeah.
slow.
like it was boring because it wasn't a well-told story. in this
Exactly.
case.
Like I think that there was really
In
interesting.
this case, it was not a well-told story.
Yeah.
21% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
The first review. More tasteful than recent slasher flicks, but Dead Silence is undone by boring characters, bland dialogue, and an unnecessary and obvious twist ending.
Obvious. That
Twist?
I don't know about obvious, but yes, it is 100% all of those things. I mean, I do think the actors try really hard, but the dialogue is shit. And
Yeah.
the plot is written poorly. And I know James Wan was, I don't know if he was a co-writer or just the like concept writer or what. I do know he had a hand in the writing. I'm not saying this man's a good writer. I'm saying he's not that bad of a filmmaker in general. Like
Well,
it still looked like a fucking movie.
He's not
Yeah.
an old guy either, right? So
He's
14 years
young.
Pretty
ago,
young.
he had to be a kid.
Yeah, I saw pictures of him. He looked super young. He still looks super young.
Mhm. He's probably in his 20s.
I
think
can't believe
early
I'm on a
mid-20s.
fucking show defending James Wan. I never in a million years would have thought that this would be my life, but here we are. Like, I mean, I don't even like James Wan. I purposely am like, oh man, I have to see another James Wan movie. When Malignant was advertised to me, I was like, I don't want to see fucking James Wan. But you know what? He's not bad at making like movies. It's just sometimes those movies suck.
It is the curse of being a
That is true.
filmmaker.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Like
Especially when you make a lot of them.
I don't know any filmmaker who's as good as him. So, I mean, as in like personally, I don't personally know a filmmaker that's as good as that. I know some really good filmmakers out there. So, you know,
There you go.
yeah.
Exciting.
Hope you got your money's worth.
Oh, I did write down here. There's a note I should share. Clown doll has spiral. Cop mouth thing is pretty bizarre. Fuck dolls. Fuck them right in the butt. Not bad for a second feature.
All right.
That's my thought process on this.
All right. Well, I watched what I also think is a second feature from a director, and nothing like Dead Silence.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kelly. It's kind of artsy. I hope I don't bore you.
Oh my God.
I love, please, more, Eric. Please be more of a prick.
I am not entirely certain how to pronounce this. Titane, I think it is, or
Titane.
Oh my God. You
Titane?
saw Titane?
have you seen it?
I've not. I want to so bad because
Oh,
I love
man.
Raw.
Well, I'll be
Please.
I won't be spoilery in how I talk about it. I liked Raw more.
Okay.
To be honest, I thought Raw was a much better through line of a story.
Sure.
This one is another one of those kind of From Dusk Till Dawns where there's one movie and then there's another movie, and they're completely different.
Oh.
And what happens in part A makes what happens in part B very hard for me to accept.
Oh.
And so it's got some great acting. It's really well shot. It's really well done. It is a well-made movie. But the story it wants to tell is rough.
Did you see this in the theater or
No? It's out streaming someplace.
Okay.
I mean, it's got such rave reviews. Like Cannes, didn't it win some big award at Cannes?
No, I thought it was Toronto. It was Toronto. It won.
I think it won something at Cannes too. I think it was like a big fucking deal. But
I mean, it is an incredibly well-made film.
It is being marketed as kind of, or at least the marketing I've seen has been kind of horror type. But when I read what it was about, I was like, I don't think this is really horror.
It's incredibly brutal. There's 2 or 3 scenes that are just brutal and violent, really, really brutal, and really well done, and hard to describe without giving it's not really a spoiler because it's halfway through the movie. It's basically the second act too. Tries to kind of, I think, turn into a redemptive story for her.
Oh, really?
And then introduces a new character who's actually really cool and really good, but also, I mean, it's a well-made movie. I'm not, anybody who says they love it, I'm not going to say you're wrong, but it was tough for me to pull in and go to where they wanted me to go with it.
Oh man, I need to see this so I can talk to you about this further, because I would love to know and respond. But it's been October, so I've been watching horror films instead. But
this would follow. This
really?
would fall in line. It'd be just because it's, like if you call Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer a horror film, it also shows up in horror. It's got Raw, has horror film tendencies.
Oh, sure. I mean, Raw is like chick eating people.
Right.
So.
Yeah. But I would see it, but it was a challenging watch in a lot of ways, which I think is great. Unlike Kelly, I like it when a movie challenges me.
You open this can of worms.
I'm totally fine with it. If Eric thinks the listeners are going to like him for being more of a prick, I think he might be surprised.
It's just hard because I get Eric, where Eric's coming from, but I am also a giant nerd. So
yeah.
Oh, I know. Well, I mean, I would say the 3 of us are giant nerds. Right?
It's
that's true.
That is true.
A movie that requires no thought that I am surprised that I liked was Army of Thieves.
Oh, really?
Oh, I didn't see this.
Prequel to Army of the Dead on Netflix right now, as of this weekend.
Same creative team?
Well, Zach, I believe, wrote it and produced it. A different director, and I got to say, I like the look of this a lot more.
Oh, okay.
It focuses on that the safecracker dude, the German safecracker. So it's kind of his story, and it's really just a heist movie. And in the background, you keep seeing shit happening in Las Vegas.
Oh,
and so that's really the only tie to Army of the Dead. And I was like, at first I was like, I wish you didn't do this. There's no need for this. But then I started thinking, I think I want to see a bunch of movies that are just regular stories that are taking place while a zombie apocalypse is just starting out.
That sounds so fucking fun.
It was actually quite a bit better than Army of the Dead.
Were there encounters with any of the undead, or is it basically just a heist movie in that world?
Stuff in there,
okay.
Dream sequences and shit,
no.
things like that. And I was like, no, this didn't need to happen. Come on.
A comet is hitting Earth, and everyone is having nightmares about it.
I just thought it was good, clean fun.
Nice.
And by clean, I mean dirty.
Sure. Well, I went and saw a film last night in theater at the iPic in Redmond, which I can't highly recommend after last night, but that's okay. I went and saw Last Night in Soho.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've heard good things.
The new Edgar Wright movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Has Edgar Wright finally stumbled?
Well, I mean, a lot of people would argue that he has before. I don't love World's End, and
I haven't seen
I
that one.
don't
So.
I think I'm probably the only person on planet Earth that likes Baby Driver, and I
love Baby
That's a
Driver.
great movie.
oh
That's
good,
really
okay, you
fun.
guys are literally the only person who I've said I love Baby Driver too, and they're like, yeah. Everyone else
know.
is like, it's a pile of trash.
Saw it twice in the theater. That's how much I love it.
That's a
yes.
good one.
So, I love Edgar Wright. I was watching Spaced when Spaced was on. Like, I know this guy. It's but it's not a comedy, and I don't know how good he is at straight dramas.
Oh, it's not.
It's not.
Oh, wow.
It is just a straight drama with horror elements mixed in, and it's a very boring movie.
Oh no.
That
is not what I would have expected.
I know, but like, I mean, none of the characters are really fleshed out. Like, a lot of stuff that's happening is just for like, hey, look, 60s London, and you can only do that for so long.
I might love this movie.
Well, I loved it because I lived in England, and I kept being like, oh my God, I used to go there. And oh man, that's like just around the corner from it's really set about a 10-minute walk from where I used to live.
Oh,
So
nice.
for me, I was like, fuck yes. And then they have one scene at a student union, and I worked for 2 years at the University of London Student Union. So I was like, student unions are not that cool. so that was kind of my participation. But as far as the actual story, I guess like maybe the last 15 minutes are pretty good. But a lot of the rest of it's really tough.
Ouch.
It's not his best.
I'm very sorry to hear this. Unfortunately, I'm too big of a Wright fan to pass it. So I will
think you
have
should
to
check
see
it out, and maybe you'll get something out of it that I didn't. I wish I wanted so badly to love this. The trailer's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, that's too bad.
Yeah.
I kind of had a similar experience with the film, although not quite. I think I liked it more than you liked this one. Have you seen Seance?
No,
It's
I've heard
Simon
good things.
Barrett's directorial debut.
Oh.
Simon
I
Barrett
don't
from The
think
Guest and the writer of The Guest.
Oh, shit.
You're Next.
I don't think I've even heard of this. What is this on?
It's on Shudder.
Oh, okay.
And it's okay. The rough part is the biggest letdown for the film for me. Well, two of them. One is the writing. It's not that well told of his story.
That's a bummer.
What?
Yeah, it's just like,
Ow.
oh, it's going to go here. Oh, okay, yeah, it went there. It didn't move any. Like The Guest has all kinds of interesting, weird shit going on,
Yeah.
and Your Next is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're both really interesting, complex stories.
and I'm a fan of him because he does frequent appearances on Vinegar Syndrome extras. They just
really?
interview him for various films,
my
and he
God.
has wonderful takes.
Oh.
I think if he does another one, I think he could be really good. There's also a very weird visual style in this, in that when they do night scenes, instead of, at least I think that's what it was. I was trying to figure out what he's doing and why it's happening. And some scenes looked kind of terrible because they had this weird, dull sheen over the top of them. Like the light was dimmed, but it was dimmed in a weird filter way. And I thought, was that the whole movie? Then you'd see another scene and it looked great.
It sounds like a mistake. It sounds like somebody
it's
shot
consistent.
weird.
It's in and out.
Oh, okay.
It happened. I think it's what he was doing to represent dark,
Oh,
as opposed to just having, a weird light
lights
source
off?
like people usually do or something. He decided, I'm just going to put this weird film over all the scenes that are in the dark or something. And it looks awful.
oh no.
It just looks terrible. And then when it's not there, it looks great.
Oh no.
So I was like, this is a weird film. And it's fun.
Bummer.
Yeah. I mean, it's worth watching. It's not terrible, but to have the writing be the weakest part of one of his films is like,
It sucks.
damn it.
Scary in any moments? Cool effects or
it's
anything like that?
Cool effects. It's a story of sort of a slasher film seance movie, I guess.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
That's an interesting mix of things.
Yeah.
Clearly, he saves his best work for different people to direct.
Yeah, I think so.
Might be.
But I'll watch whatever he does next again. Sort of like Edgar Rice. Like I'll
Sure.
see whatever just because.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, okay. why don't we take a little break? Because, it's Halloween while we're recording this, but you know what else they call this night? Ninja November Eve.
It really rolls off the tongue, Kelly.
Ninjavember Eve.
Ninjavember Eve.
Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Ninja Force! The Joes lose again, Scarlet!
You're the one that just rolled Snake Eyes.
It's the G.I. Joe Ninja Force with real ninja moves. Here's Snake Eyes on the Ninja Lightning with thunder missiles and zip strip speed. And now Joe and Cobra Ninja Raiders Ginsu and Red Ninja spring into action in their own fast attack vehicles with a Ninja Surprise. G.I. Joe Ninja Lightning and Ninja figures sold separately. Ninja Raiders come with exclusive figures available in May.
Oh, we need that gold to build our ultimate weapon!
We have returned. And Vanessa, I got to say, and you both really surprised me when you suggested we do an entire month.
Oh my God, no.
But I am all for it now.
Nice try.
Yeah, we really convinced you. We really brought you on that one. Yes, I'm so stoked.
Tell us what you had in mind when you decided to do this.
Well, what I had in mind is I watched this goddamn movie a month ago, and I want to talk about it so I can get off my plate.
Man.
And then somehow magically this turned into it's going to be the next 4 weeks of my life.
Full disclosure, Kelly sent this, and I thought it was a joke.
How dare you.
You did it.
And then it developed like, holy shit, he's serious. Okay, what the fuck? Let's go for it.
You realize, wait a second, Kelly never jokes, so he must be serious.
That's right.
I mean, look, there's a big hole in my film watching know-how, and it is ninja shaped. So I am okay with diving further into this, but I will say ninjas are not like my forte. It's not my
Unless
favorite
they're
thing.
Turtles.
Unless they're turtles,
There you go.
and I'm 6.
I just assumed all of your movies would be Ninja Turtle movies.
It's been tempting, but I really want to expand my horizons. So there will be probably at least one,
Okay.
but I'm not going to go full Ninja Turtles. There's only, I've got like 2, 3, and I guess the animated stuff left, but it's a rough watch. Anyway,
What did you pick for this Ninja November episode?
For Ninja November week 1, I went with 5 Elements Ninjas from 1982.
什么五盾阵？日本忍术真是非同小可，一举歼灭武林总盟8个青年高手。
东瀛高手突袭中原，
他再严密的防守，也阻止不了忍者。
江湖浩劫，血债累累。
我发誓替你报仇！
新仇旧恨，不共戴天。
你向武林总盟发过战书，现在也有一份战书给你。
张彻作品。五盾忍术。
This came up on my research, and I decided this looks really stupid.
Sure. But despite that, because all ninja movies look really stupid, did you decide to watch it anyway?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Well, this is a fucking treat. I wish I was really... There are some times when I'm watching a movie that I'm really trying to maintain the plot and like hold on to what is happening in my head on any level. And this definitely fell into that category where, yes, there are fun, crazy things happening, but there's a story in there. I'm sure of it. So that was the challenge with this one. Before we dive into that though, Rotten Tomatoes, nothing from critics,
Oh,
89% from audience, which had over 100 votes. So
okay.
Jeez.
Crowd pleaser.
absolutely. This is a Hong Kong martial arts film. It's a Shaw Brothers picture, which means stuff to people who know ninja movie stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's written and directed by Che Chang. who is a leading martial arts director in Hong Kong in the 1970s and one of the most prolific directors for Shaw Brothers Studios. His most revered films include Dynasty of Blood, aka Blood Brothers, and Five Deadly Venoms. He influenced other directors such as John Woo and Lu Che-lang. Sorry, reading this. Made famous Hong Kong stars, including Philip Chung Fun Kwok and Fu Chang and Lung Ti. Declared he would stop working when he made his 101st film, but only made it, unfortunately, to 95.
Holy crap.
So
only 95
Only
films.
95 movies. Unfortunately, a really low number here. And he died in 2002. So it was co-written by Kang Ni, who has written 233 films.
Whoa.
And acted in 12. He's known for New Adventure of Wisely, the 36th Chamber of Shaolin, and the Wesley's Mysterious File. So obviously I know nothing of any of these, but they are very important, interesting people. So I hope our listeners are into it. Starring lots of martial artists.
Not even going to try. Huh?
I mean, look, okay, I wrote some names down, but I didn't write down what they're in because they're martial artists who were in a fuck ton of films that I have not seen before. So it's Tan Chi Cheng as Shou Ting Hao, Meng Lo as Shi Shuang, Tang Xuan Lung as Brother Li, and Michael Wyman Chan as Chin Tin Chun. So,
wow. Nice.
I am sure I butchered those. I am so sorry. All right. So the plot. Look, guys. So I really was trying and I wrote notes and it was I was struggling, but I did, however, look up the plot so that I could iterate to you what happened in this movie. Now, none of this is a spoiler because you will not know what any of it means when you're watching it. You'll only be like, whoa, there's like trees. There's guys dressed as trees fighting each other, which is pretty special. But the plot. In ancient Hong Kong, Chief Hong challenges his rival Yen Zhen for the title of martial arts master. Their students face off against each other, and when his students are easily defeated, Hong calls in a samurai to fight on his behalf. When the samurai defeats Zhang's student, he commits suicide in shame, like literally right there. It's extremely confusing. I was like, you did really good though. And then he's like, I'm out. Bye. Zhang's student Lang Ji Cheng rises to the challenge and defeats the samurai. But before the samurai commits suicide, he warns that an allied ninja clan will seek revenge for his death. As a final blow, he tosses a sharp ring at Master Zhang, who is poisoned as he catches it. I wish I could describe what's happening. So you've got like a room. This is what you actually see. It's like a room full of dudes. Some of them look like 1970s sci-fi extras where the costume designer had like one long piece of fabric and just was like, all right, this is going to drape. This is going to wrap around you in this way. I'm just going to cut it really fun in a bunch of weird shapes and just like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Is this one of those like flying martial arts movies where people like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
Yeah, okay. It's to a certain extent, but way more like I think there's wires and stuff probably, but it feels homemade. It feels like the what's that movie where Jack Black Be Kind Rewind? Where it's like you're making a movie in the style of with what you have around your house. That's what it feels like.
Right.
So yes. And then you have a bunch of guys who are dressed like appropriately in like black or whatever on one side. So you have cool looking dudes who look like normal ninjas on one side. And on the other side, fucking what the hell is happening right now? Like there are dudes like with ponytails. There was one person I was sure, the main guy, by the way, who I was sure was a girl. because he's got a ponytail and he has bangs, and they're like real cute, like really, really cute. And like it's all up and like it looks so manicured, and he is not a lady. Anyway, and they're like fighting, and you're like, okay, I guess a bunch of dudes are fighting each other, and these two old guys are sitting nearby. One guy in very bad old person makeup. Extremely upsetting old person makeup.
He's got the gray spray in his hair.
Totally. And like no real wrinkles, but just padded with like lots of putty makeup.
I love that.
Oh my God. It's very, very I guess there's like a history of like Chinese opera. And it is really firmly in that world. It is theatrical as fuck. And they're just like slapping each other. And then one guy comes in who seems to be good at it. And then he commits suicide, and you're like, okay. And then he throws a ring, and one of the old guys catches it. And then he's like, oh, and you're like, what happened right now? So that's what happened. He got poisoned. It's okay. He can just like chill out for a while and prolong his death for like several months if he just really like meditates. So it's fine. Shortly after, a challenge letter arrives from the 5 Element ninjas. Worried it is a trap, the 2 best students stay to defend the school while the rest split off to fight the enemies. The enemies include earth, fire, water, wood, and gold.
Well, I thought the 5th element was love.
I did too. Where's the little kid from Captain Planet? Love, heart. Yeah. So also, these elements are very exciting: earth, fire, water, wood, and gold. I will say, actually, so these different element ninjas, again, I really didn't know what was happening. I didn't even know they were in a school until I looked at the Wikipedia. But the different elements are phenomenal. This is by far the strongest part of the film, because you've got the like the earth guys who like literally pop up from, like, they'll walk onto a open ground and then dudes just pop up out of the ground and start fighting.
Awesome.
And they like disappear back into the ground. Water, same thing. They're like, they have the little reeds where they're like kind of underneath the water and they're breathing through it so nobody sees they're there. And there's some guys standing on a bridge, and then they pop up out of the water, like spraying up, and they'll just murder them. And it's like, whoosh, 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 whoosh. But like murder, pure everywhere, murder. And the trees, I mean, wood, look. You know the bit of Wizard of Oz where like the trees come alive and they have faces?
How'd you like it if somebody picked your apples?
Imagine that, but they're fighting. It's like dudes in full big like 12-foot tree costumes being like, ah, like kicking at him and winning, by the way.
You are not making me want to see this film less.
Yes.
Oh, no. It is a magical experience. I'm just saying it is confusing as hell. Look, I don't regret my time watching this movie. It is an incredible film. I think I'm not going to get anything better than this in the ninja realm. I'm just saying, what the actual fuck was I watching? Gold. They have hats. They have fun gold hats, and they reflect in the people's eyes, and they can't see, and then they murder them. There's so much gore, so much. Yeah. Okay. So these people who are not the best from the school go and fight these elements, and they are killed, rightfully so. Also, the gold hats shoot knives. Yeah. So Hong is thrilled that the rival school is defeated, but the leader ninja who consulted him about doing this, Cheng Fun Mudo, advises they destroy Zhang's school. So they send in an annoying and kind of ugly female spy named Senji, who pretends to be a victim of a cruel dude who slaps her a bunch and then takes refuge in the school while secretly making a map of their defenses that she sends back. This chick is like the most annoying human being on that. She is the weak link of this film. You're like, could you just stop for 2 seconds, lady? The ninjas invade with the power of ninjutsu, dun dun dun, and kill everyone except for Hao, which is the dude with the exceptionally bad hair. He has such a pretty ponytail, though. We have not really hardly seen him up until this moment. I thought it was a different main character. I was wrong. That guy just freaking dies. But he's a main character now. He retreats to retrain in the powerful ninja fighting style with an old master at a hut in the middle of nowhere for some reason. Then he, along with 3 other of the students of the hut guy, go on a quest for revenge, and they murder all of the elements in very satisfying and gross ways. Then they find Mudo, the weird guy who's manipulating the other schoolmaster, in the Earth realm. He is very difficult to fight and uses gnarly foot cleats to rip the skin off of people's chests. That's fucking rough. Finally, the four are able to spear him down because he keeps going underground, up ground on different points. So they spear him down to the ground and they tear him in half. But unfortunately, our main character, whose name I've forgotten, is wounded in the process, mortally so, and is not going to really necessarily. Maybe he'll live. I don't. Who knows? However,
Don't want to spoil this masterpiece.
this fucking film. His brothers, the other ninja dudes, they run up and destroy the Earth symbol, and then they literally like jump freeze frame. Smile.
But that's the end?
Yeah.
Oh, it's in the way that you use it.
Yes.
It is seriously credits one step away from mid-air high five.
What year was this film again?
This year.
82, I think you said.
Yeah,
82,
1982. Okay. Correct.
Wow.
I wish
Look,
I had chosen this one.
Yeah, no shit.
you know what? I once I had it, I was like, I'm keeping this fucker
Mm-hmm.
because you guys, Kelly, you have to see this film. Like, you have to see this fucking film. All right. The subtitles for random moments, they have like backward jump and patience and hooked sickle. They have like weird subtitles that just show up to explain random things you're seeing, but for no reason. Like, it's not what anybody's saying. It's not like on a piece of paper they're reading. It's like patience. You're like, whoa, okay. I'll be patient.
And it's not like the subtitle one where if you accidentally choose the...
No, it is not
Okay.
like a descriptive thing for blind people. This
for
is like
blind people?
I don't know.
Deaf
Oh,
people.
deaf people. I'm sorry.
Subtitles for the blind.
I
Really?
video edit, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome. Weapons the four ninjas use are the cool four ninjas at the end who are going and killing all the elements. It's like one weapon that they each have, and it slightly changes for each enemy type they encounter.
Oh.
So every time they go into a new space, their weapons like morph a little to be suited for that kind of enemy, and it's so fucking cool.
That's cool.
There are great fights in general with weird, unique elements. There's a gnarly ass deaths, and it is literally insane. It's literally fucking insane. The bad. It's confusing. The history of challenges, the meditate, poison away, the main guy dying partway in, and then there's a new main guy. There's a weird key thing where there's this guy who's like, it's a key and you'll know when to use it. And it's like the most random fucking moment. And you're like, how? How did anyone know this was the moment a key would be important? Costumes of the main ninja clan. Oh, I put down, look like an elementary school production of Aladdin. But the costumes for the elements are really fun. How just bad hair, bad costume, bad everything. Senji, the chick, her eyebrows are upsetting to stare at, and watching her seduce a bro is hella gross. Old people makeup, bad. Idea of Japanese people is definitely a bit off. They're like the art, like the whole like art of ninjutsu thing was really, you could tell there was some culture like misunderstandings happening. Like how in Japan they're like, don't get Santa Claus in horrific ways. It feels a little bit like that.
In my research, I found out that Japan, their own take on ninjas is not nearly as prevalent in America, and especially in Hong Kong or China.
Mm-hmm.
They are really obsessed with ninjas over there.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
And the Japanese are just kind of like, really?
Yeah.
Well-
Out of all the things we got, yeah. Actually, a lot of the films that I've researched so far for this month have been like way more popular in other countries.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I was even like, when I was looking for a movie to watch, I'm going, okay, Akira Kurosawa must have done something. Nope, not a thing with ninjas. It's all samurai.
Right.
Because they're not looked on favorably
Right.
in Japan.
Are they like considered to be like the gang kind of thing where they've got tattoos and stuff? Or is that?
Oh, like-
Well, it's more that they were assassins and not honorable.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. Interesting. Yeah, I'm learning a lot, people. I'm on a
All
wild
right.
ride. Yeah, I said overall wild ride that I would absolutely advise anyone and everyone to check out, lest you are squeamish about people being pulled in half. I only found 3 notes of trivia. TV version edits out the final boss being pulled in 2. Allmovie describes the film as a legend amongst fans of Asian cult fare, and for once, the legend lives up to the hype. And Michael Brook
Nice.
Michael Brook of Sight and Sound said, it's delirious verve and invention more than compensate. The body count is enormous, even for Chang's notoriously gore-drenched standards, though the cartoonishly unrealistic blood spurts and disemboweled fighter meeting his doom after slipping on his own dangling entrails smacks more of Monty Python Peckinpah tribute than anything especially disturbing.
Well said.
There you go.
I have only one thing to say to this.
Oh my God. Whoa.
Maybe
Where
we
did
should-
that come
Maybe
from?
we should superimpose a picture of that over our logo
Where
for
is
the
this
month.
Dude, look at his mouth. He's just gripping. This is a little cute teddy bear.
Cute teddy bear in a karate outfit.
In a karate
and when
outfit.
you squeeze him,
That one's my favorite. Wow.
we'll just keep him out here all month.
There you go.
How long have you had this gentleman?
Over 20 years.
Wow.
Worth keeping.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I remember walking past this little thing at Fred Meyer's, like an end cap with all of these, and I just squeezed it like I squeeze every toy that makes noise.
Mhm.
And then I was like, well, I must have this.
You sound just like me in the Fred Meyer.
Ooh,
One to
squeeze,
one.
squeeze,
Yes. That's fucking insane. You will come home with me now.
Eric, would you like to go next?
Sure.
Please. I cannot wait to hear of a film that is equally nuts and also makes no sense.
Very different kind of nuts, actually. But
Oh.
anyways, the completely ridiculously named Ninja 3, The Domination.
He is the most feared and powerful warrior. A ninja who breaks from ancient tradition and explodes onto America. His soul possesses the body of an innocent woman and transforms her into a lethal assassin.
Who are you?
I want you to help her.
Only a ninja can destroy a ninja.
Her only hope is Yamada, the master ninja, who has been sent to destroy him. Where Revenge of the Ninja left off, Ninja 3 begins. An epic struggle of superhuman strength and supernatural forces. Ninja 3, The Domination.
19
Oh, shit.
Exactly, yes.
Fuck.
1984.
I remember it well.
That's right.
Good year.
This is Scream Factory release of this film. Rotten Tomatoes rating, 40 from critics, 53 from crowd, which maybe a little high, but not outrageous. No idea what the budget is. No idea what kind of box office it did. This was a Canon Films release, and if you're a hardcore cult filmmaker, or film lover, you know who Canon was in the
Fuck
80s
yes.
and the fantastic documentaries and books that have been written about them. Well, this is one of their films. Directed by Sam Furstenberg, who also directed Revenge of the Ninja, American Ninja, The Confrontation, American Samurai, Revenge of the Ninja, American Warrior, The Barbarians.
Oh, God.
Anybody, I know you're familiar with The Barbarians. You know that one?
No.
They're these twin bodybuilders in the 80s who made a movie.
Oh,
They
no.
literally called themselves the Barbarian Brothers.
Oh, that sounds like the 80s.
Yeah.
Did they have stretchy action figures that you could pull?
No, they were very oily.
Yes.
And it also sounds like
and
the
very
80s.
tan. Yeah. And very short-lived as far as being known. Starring Sho Kusiji, who's been in a lot of shit. Ninja Assassin, Blind Fury, 9 Deaths of the Ninja, Revenge of the Ninja, Enter the Ninja. I think he was in every canon ninja film.
Whoa.
So you're doing part 3, and the first one was Enter the Ninja. The second one was Revenge of the Ninja, and this is Ninja 3.
That's right.
They couldn't call either of the other ones Ninja or Ninja 2.
But this was probably because, like, this is as connected to Ninja 1 and 2 as Halloween 3 is connected to Halloween 1 and 2. In it, they're not at all. Lucinda Dickey, Breakin', period. Grease 2, Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, she returned.
And Cheerleader Camp. You remember that one?
I don't think I do.
It was made or written by somebody we went to the film school with.
Oh, no, you're thinking of Cheerleader Ninjas.
Ninja, that's the one, yes.
Which I researched and was possibly going to do. Scott Becker was in that.
Yes, that's the one.
Wow.
James Hong, this man has not worked much. He has 445 credits.
Jesus.
Only
is that
445,
a record?
Vanessa.
Is that a record? For, like, I feel like we need to keep track of the people.
Definitely a Strange Eons radio record.
It's in the highs. Yeah, he's one of those guys, if you've watched movies, you've seen him.
Yeah.
But he was in Blade Runner. He was the eye guy in Blade Runner. Big Trouble in Little China. Yes. Star Wars. Turtles movies. Balls of Fury. And like I said, shit, no more. And David Chung from Repo Man, Missing in Action 2, and some TV. This movie's nuts. It starts off with a man in an all-white suit going through the desert to find a cave, to find some weapons that I believe are possessed by a ninja spirit.
Oh.
The most impressive part of this scene, of this segment, is how that white suit stays perfectly clean as he wanders through the desert, climbs up to a cave, and digs to get the shit out. It's like, well done, sir. But now he's got his ninja, I don't know if they're also called gis, like regular karates, but anyways, and he's ready to kick ass for, I have no idea who or why or what. But a whole bunch of people now are being shown playing golf.
Bit of a shift.
Yes. And then they've got security guards, and a bunch of ninjas show up and kick the crap out of the security guards. And there's a blowgun involved.
Oh my God.
And of course, none survive the ninja attack. But one of the ninjas gets away. The cops have now shown up. They're chasing him around. And he starts fighting back and punches through cars and through windows and starts killing some of the cops. And now there's cops and helicopters around, and they're all shooting at him. He grabs onto the helicopter and puts a ninja star between his toes and kicks at the pilot, hitting him with the star.
Oh.
And in a glorious canon money-saving fit, you see the helicopter sputter fly down below a hill, and then the big explosion comes up. I'd say about 15 minutes in, the guy's probably taken out 50 some odd people, and in the end, the cops get him. Or do they?
Oh.
As you will find out later in this complicated storyline, he is the exorcist. He's the person who's going to possess a person later on. So he's sort of dead, but he's not really.
Oh.
And then we move to the 80s power songs, man. So bad. Such a bad 80s song. And so this introduces our lead woman who's, she does get her ninja powers because she sees somebody, kind of helps them. He touches her and ninja powers transpire.
So she had no formal training before this?
Right, exactly.
Okay.
No fighting at all.
Wow.
And of course, it's the 80s. So next scene, she's in an aerobics tights with her friend and aerobics class, but she's the teacher of the aerobics.
No.
Whoa.
So, she's really in shape.
Oh my God.
And then it's the let's get physical kind of montage of workouts with bad weightlifting and guys being creepy as fuck.
Terry cloth headbands and wristbands.
There you go. Yes.
Was that to keep the sweat out, or why? Do your wrists
Just
really
it looked
sweat?
hot, okay, Vanessa? Jeez.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
My
yes, I
Barbies
do.
had them on it. I remember that much.
After class, everybody's leaving, and a few of the leering men decide that they're going to very overtly harass one of the women coming out of the class. And I mean, it's like, this feels like it's escalating to, we're going to rape you, but there's like 15 people around. And guess who now has super ninja powers?
Right.
Ooh.
So her name's Christy, comes out
Of
and
course it
kicks
is.
the crap out of the guys in these spectacular, quote, spectacular fight scene. Yes, exactly. Kind of sounds like her. So now we know she's got powers. Now she's going back to her apartment. Hey, guess whose art she has on the wall? It's the 80s. It's a Nagel.
I was going to say, Miguel.
Miguel, yes. And, but do you not know who that artist is?
I do not.
I think if you saw it, you'd go, oh, yeah, that's the 80s.
Yeah, every Duran Duran cover
Oh,
was
yeah.
painted
Fine.
by him in the 80s. Very, what would you call it? Art Deco.
Yeah, that's a good
Okay.
word for it. Strong lines, very
Yeah.
definitive. There's not a lot of shading or anything going on in it.
Oh, sure.
Cartoony.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That.
And through the harassment, she meets a cop who starts to hit on her, and she has no interest in in him whatsoever until suddenly now they're straddling each other, and she's wearing a towel.
Whoa.
What? What just
And-
happened?
And exactly.
Maybe
Hey, it's almost that fast in the movie. I'm going, what? What?
did the possessed ninja find him particularly attractive?
I'm not sure.
You know what? Yes, we're going to bang that one.
And in what might be one of the least sexy things I've seen in a film, she takes a V8 juice can and pours it down her neck, like in some weird
Ew.
seductive way. I'm like,
Oh, ew.
no,
Cold tomato
no.
juice. Come to me, gentlemen. I am covered in soup. Ah.
That night, though, after tomato juicing him, she's visited by 3 ghosts. The ghost of Chris. No, not that one. No, wait. It's a sword coming out of a sheath and handing itself to her as it floats across the room.
Ah, yeah.
And very amazing wire work, let me tell you. And then there's wind and fog and strange lights coming from her closet. She's starting to transform into more of a ninja. Oh, by the way, Mr. Guy she sleeps with, give Robin Williams a run for his money in the Harry
Oh,
department.
boy.
Oh no. Oh.
The boy can make sweaters from his shoulder hair alone.
That sounds like the 80s.
And now we've got the new villain. There's a new badass in town. You know how? You know that? He's got an eye patch on.
Fuck. Man, everybody who lost an eye, they're like, I'm not a bad person. You guys got to stop treating me like it.
She has a video game in her room for some reason. I think this is the reason. Starts spewing fog and making crazy noises and all this weird shit's going on. Here comes the floating sword again.
Ooh.
She's even more ninja because she's growling at the camera.
Okay.
She even gets a ninja outfit now. She's ready to hunt something
Oh my
or
God.
somebody. Fight choreography in this film is not good.
Hmm.
It's really rough. So that's not so much fun. But one of her friends figured out that he thinks she needs an exorcism because she's acting so weird and kicking the crap out of people and starting to kill people.
That sounds very normal for an aerobics instructor, though.
Yep. So they go to the exorcism scene, which is where I believe what's his name with the 445 credits is. And he performs the exorcism on her,
Oh.
ties her up in this weird spread eagle formation, and she starts yelling at him in Japanese and all that stuff.
Oh my God.
Anyways. And of course, he realizes what's happened, and he tells her she's in trouble because only a ninja can destroy a ninja.
Oh my God.
That is
Wait.
true. Look, we don't make the rules. We just follow them.
That's right.
So she has to find a ninja to get exorcised from the ninja in her?
Sure.
To-
We'll go with that.
Okay. All right. I'm just trying to keep up here.
And in, a wonderful example of using your supplies, she uses her El Camino to transfer one of the bodies that she's destroyed.
El Camino.
Perfect. More ninja possession stuff, fog, light, sounds, all that shit. The sounds almost sound like Gremlins too.
Oh
When they're
my
in the
God.
theater, or not the theater, but then they're partying around and stuff. And puts on bad music, trying to dance out the coming on the exorcism, but it just isn't working. She starts to get revenge on cops that killed the guy in the early scene, our golf guy killer. Anyway, when the guy wearing the eye patch gets involved, the fights get significantly better. He's obviously, I'm pretty sure he's the fight choreographer and the actor. He's been in all this stuff.
Oh, was that show?
Yeah.
Tokusuji.
Notes and trivia. Why? Because the movie does not need further analysis. It's just crazy. If you want to see a ninja-based exorcism movie, this is the one to see.
Oh my God.
The tagline, he's the ultimate killer. She's the perfect weapon.
Oh, I like that one.
It's actually,
Whoa.
I mean, it's canon. They could advertise.
Yeah.
It was released in Italy as Trancers.
Really?
I think I've heard that name
Yeah.
before.
But not as a Trancers movie?
No.
Yes? Oh, okay.
Trancers for some reason. Apparently, that arcade machine that was in her apartment was a prototype of a game called Bouncer, which never came out. But it was a real working game system that just nobody knew what it was.
Huh.
And I noticed this when the guy showed up with his eye patch. And went, the eye patch looks really strange. What is wrong with it? It's a hand guard from a samurai sword.
Oh.
So it's like little flowery and it has a slit in the middle.
Oh.
Is it made of metal?
I don't know which this one is made of. They never see it close enough to know for sure.
Seems
But
like that would hang heavy on your head.
I would think so, yes.
Cool.
There's an interview on the documentary with Lucinda, the lead, and said both of the big Canon guys were in her audition. She had no idea who they were. She was hired with 3 days' notice to be on set. And never read the script, didn't know what she was necessarily doing, just knew that she got the lead in the movie.
Oh, that's special.
The film was cut by 1 minute and 12 seconds in the UK because of the use of the throwing stars.
Oh, yep. They did hate the throwing stars pretty
That's
hard.
right. It is the third and final entry in the Ninja trilogy. So it has nothing to do with the first, like we said before. And Show was in all of them.
Yeah. I think even like Revenge of the Ninja has nothing to do with Enter the Ninja. Their
There you
ninja
go.
trilogy has nothing to do with each other.
It's just 3 ninja films
Right.
Exactly, yes.
stacked together. Get the box set.
Canon ended up writing a 5-picture deal for Lucinda, but after a couple of them came out and they went so bad, she got to do Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo, and Breakin' 3, which was planned but fell apart. Never got made.
Gotcha.
And she also ended up in the abysmal Alan Quartermain and the Lost City of Gold.
Oh boy, yeah, that was bad.
They just kind of fell out. She went away and Cannon was done working with her and then Cannon went away. So.
I have only one thing to say about this.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Start your Hiya count now, folks. Got 4 episodes.
I'm so grateful suddenly that Kelly does not have access to one of those like noise
Soundboards.
machines. Yeah, soundboard. So do morning traffic.
Look, once we really start making some money, I'm hiring a producer who will also be here and he'll be able to do sound effects while we're talking.
Oh, there you go.
All right, great.
Okay, you guys. I picked a winner. My movie is from 2013 and it is called Ninja 2, Shadow of a Tear.
Yeah, and the baby. This known Goro taught his men how to kill the barbed wire. He's somewhere inside the jungles outside Rangoon. I'm going after him. You're going to Burma. It's suicide. It's justice. This is Goro's territory, isn't it? Hit me. Where's Goro?
Why are you asking about Goro?
This makes you a target. I'm telling you to live. A man who seeks revenge should dig 2 graves.
I'm thinking you need a lot more than that.
Oh.
Sounds artsy.
Budget of 2.6 million.
Oh, not
Oh,
bad.
well,
Box office of about 545,000.
Oh,
Sure.
sad.
The audience, Rotten Tomatoes, gives this 43%. I will give a blowjob to either one of you who figures out what the critics.
I don't think I want to answer that question now.
Yeah.
I go with 43.
It's just confusing, frankly.
Rotten Tomatoes critics on this, 100%.
Is it like 2 critics or something?
It's 5 critics.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Holy shit.
Not bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty high praise.
It is directed by Isaac Florentine. He directed Max Havoc, Curse of the Dragon, Assassin's Bullet, Battleground, The Art of War, and a ton of Power Rangers episodes. So you kind of know where this guy is coming from based on the titles of his movies.
Sure.
Written by David N. White, who wrote Special Forces, Henry's Crime, Undisputed 2 and Undisputed 3, and Ricky Rosen's Bar Mitzvah.
Is that a movie? Or is that like something he did for a friend?
I hope that this is an actual bar mitzvah that for some reason has an IMDb credit.
I do too.
That'd be great.
It stars Scott Adkins, who has 68
Oh, geez.
credits, including Ninja, Zero Dark 30, Expendables 2, Doctor Strange, and the upcoming John Wick 4.
Wow.
It stars Kane Kosugi from Godzilla Final Wars. He was in the movie War, Zero Tolerance, The Driver, and he is the son of Sho Kosugi.
Whoa,
Oh, cool.
hey.
And it also stars Mika Hijiai. She was in Ninja, Perfect Blue, Rogue Ninja, Alien vs. Ninja, and episodes of Kamen Rider. Okay. This story.
Yes.
Our lead guy's name is Casey Bowman, which doesn't sound like a tough guy name. And I think that's kind of the point, because this guy's pretty badass. He's an American martial artist who has settled down from the events of the first film, which I did not bother to watch. But we are led to believe that whatever happened there was enough that he was just like, I have had enough of this life. And he has married the lead actress from that film, and they are expecting their first child.
Oh.
However, he goes shopping for a pendant in town, and after picking one out, he's attacked by 2 muggers. He's a peaceful guy, offers up his wallet and everything, but they want the pendant too, you dig? And that is unacceptable. So he trounces them pretty soundly, but it's clear that they were no ordinary muggers. They had pulled a knife on him, and it was one of those, like a Shinto blade or something, and it was like, this seems oddly specific for just a couple of muggers. Oh, by the way, this is all happening in Japan. So maybe the muggers carry Shinto blades over there.
Oh, that's true. Never been mugged in Japan.
No.
Same.
So later that night, he gives his wife the pendant. And you guys, it is the ugliest thing you have ever seen. It gives Ash a run for the money for that shitty pendant he gives his girlfriend, Linda, and Evil Dead. This thing is the size of like a tea saucer.
No.
And it goes around your neck, and it's got the sign for peace on it, and or the Japanese character for peace on it, not our shitty chicken foot piece.
Oh, no.
But she's a good wife, and she's like, "Oh, it's lovely." But I'm
I'll
literally
wear
watching this
every
going,
day.
"Wow, who was the prop guy that came up with this and handed this in, and then they okayed it?" Eric, remember when we did our movie and our lady who was doing the costuming, she had the patches for our police officers.
Oh, jeez.
And it was like,
God.
it was like the worst thing in the world.
No.
We were just like,
Huge.
we're going to have to figure out how to not use these.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So then he realizes that he forgot to pick up an ingredient for their dinner. So he rushes to the corner store to pick it up. But when he gets back, his wife and unborn son have been murdered.
No, that's really rough. Oof.
It is the lamest of ways to get your character moving. Is like, this is happening in 10 minutes. His wife is dead.
Not like Death Wish, where it's like,
Right,
Jesus
right.
Christ.
I mean, how pregnant are we talking? Like,
You couldn't even tell.
oh, okay. Well,
No, she still looked gorgeous.
okay. All right.
She wasn't a big fat cow.
Oh, my God. Whoa.
At the funeral, he is
Jesus.
approached by a former student of his named Nakabara, who invites him to come back to Thailand with him and ease his pain by basically becoming a warrior monk at this guy's dojo. But he's like, fuck no, I've got some unfinished business. And the writing in this is a little weak because he literally says, I've got some unfinished business. And his friend says, with who? I'm like, well, do we really? I feel like we can all put this together, what his unfinished business is, right? But whatever.
Tell me more.
So, see, he remembers the fighting style of the two muggers, and he heads to that dojo where he beats the shit out of everyone there until they tell him about the two men who attacked him. And then he finds those guys, and he lures them to their deaths in a dark alley.
Ooh.
The end.
Sweet revenge.
How very Daredevil
Right.
Kingpin search.
That is not really the end. So he decides to take his buddy up on the offer to go to Thailand now that he's murdered a couple of people.
Sure.
But he can't control his anger there at the dojo, and he actually hurts one of the students, and then his friend is like yelling at him like, what's your fucking problem? Get it together. And he's like, you don't understand. So he goes into town and he gets drunk and he beats the shit out of a bunch of assholes in a bar.
Beautiful. Very healthy.
Yeah. But when he gets back to his friend's dojo, he finds that one of the students has been killed by the same weapon that killed his wife.
Whoa.
And he realized the killer thought it was him that he was killing. So he's like, oh boy, this movie.
Well, you've got a lot more coherent story than the first two
This is
films we talked about.
It's just so rote and by the books. It just breaks down like a cheap shotgun after this.
Oh, no.
We find out there's a generations old revenge plot going on, a huge drug cartel, and a bunch of other nonsense. None of it really matters. The movie exists literally to show off the fight scenes, which are kind of spectacular.
Good.
There's a great one take fight in the middle of this that is just like, fuck. I mean, you just, halfway through this couple of minute fight, you realize there hasn't been a take. This has all just been a camera watching these guys try and beat the shit out of each other.
That's incredible.
And this is, we're making fun of these movies and everything, but these fight sequences are like top notch. This is really a movie worth watching just for that.
Yeah.
And then it turns out his friend Nakabara killed his wife in a twist that you see way back when he's first introduced. As soon as you see him at the funeral and he's like, you should, take a break and all this stuff. I was like, oh, we're going to find out he killed his wife for some reason.
Oh, what a twist.
Still quite entertaining. I had a really good time with this. I could find very little on the trivia to talk about, but for the UK, they did require scenes cut of animal cruelty.
Oh, that's
in this
new.
case, they have a cockfighting scene in there, and they cut that out.
Sure.
One of my favorite things about this movie, though, is near the end, in the subtitles, you can clearly hear one of the guys calling Scott, or Casey, Scott Atkins, Gaijin, which means outsider.
Mhm.
But the subtitles say kaiju. Which, of course, is a giant monster. And I was like, oh, I love this movie.
That's so good.
That was my movie. I loved it. I give it 4 up.
You're having way too much fun. Wow. I mean, I don't think there was a winner this week. I think they were all winners.
Oh,
Oh, well, yeah.
that's nice. But the real winner was my movie, which
No.
was the only one that had a coherent plot and was shot in this century.
No. Mine had dudes dressed as trees fighting. I'm sorry, you can't win.
You know what? I think I might be watching your movie tonight.
Yeah.
That sounds like way too much fun.
You gotta
the
watch
Shaw
it.
Brothers were huge. When I worked
Yeah.
at Suncoast, we had people come in and they do have anything by the Shaw Brothers.
Wow.
Didn't matter what the movie was.
Wow.
Gave Bruce Lee a start.
Yep.
Yeah, well, God, whose turn is it?
Does it matter?
Oh, well done. Synchronized.
I'm going to say it's my turn. And next
I
week,
think it is.
ninjas.
What if one of us
Okay.
breaks this pattern? What if one of us is like, you know what? No more.
No more ninjas? No how, no way?
My God.
Yeah, well, I think we went out of order a little bit. Or I wrote them out of order. So, you usually follow Vanessa, so yes.
Okay.
Your turn.
All right.
What do you want to
ninjas.
talk about?
Ninjas.
Okay.
Anything more?
Just ninjas.
Just ninjas. All right.
Yeah, it's November, and it's Ninja November.
You know what?
So-
I feel like I've heard that somewhere. I'm not sure where. Maybe it's on a calendar.
Wouldn't it be great if we start something with this? And like next November, we see other
People doing
podcasts
ninja stuff.
Ninja November?
I've had to explain our task to several people now who are like, Ninja November. Interesting. So you know what? That might fuel.
I think there's already a podcast doing it.
What?
They call themselves the Three Ninjas Podcast.
Well,
Wait a
okay, but
second.
every single one of theirs has got to be on ninjas.
Exactly.
It's
Say
also
so.
So it
Ninja
doesn't
October,
matter.
and it's also Ninja December for them.
Yeah, exactly. Ninja July. Pew, pew.
Okay, well then, with that in mind, this is the part where I say thank you to everybody who's participating in the Value for Value model, especially Micah.
Yeah, thank
should-
you.
we should
I know
have him pick out another film for Vanessa.
you know what? I know I bitched about this and basically called you wrong, but also thank you so much for your support and friendship over this period of time.
And thanks to everyone who's liking, sharing posts, sharing the episodes when they come out,
Yep.
dropping reviews. All of that stuff makes a big difference on getting the name out there, and we really, really appreciate it. So, Eric,
Yeah,
anything else to add?
I would say if you know people that are like following us on Facebook or Twitter and Instagram, but not listening to us, just give them a little poke in the ribs and say, hey, listen to the podcast too. They do more than just fun memes that make fun of podcasters.
Are you telling me that we have a lot more followers on Twitter than listeners?
I don't know.
Weird.
Could be.
Huh.
I don't remember how many we have on Twitter.
Right. Which would be weird because all we put on Twitter is new
Episodes.
episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, we're going to say goodbye, but we'll be back in 1 week and we're talking ninjas. Our show is recorded somewhere high above Naval Station Everett at the nexus of all realities and is engineered and produced by Eric Morgret. Our theme music is Strange Aeons Part 1 by the band Nightshade and is used with permission. Find Strange Aeons Radio on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and wherever fine podcasts are found.
Unlike Kelly, I like it when a movie challenges me.